Hello, bonjour, and welcome everybody. My name is Milena Audino. I'm the Business Information Officer here at the World Trade Center, Winnipeg. I would like to introduce you to Heather Roscoe, Programming and Training Coordinator for MEIA, to provide a few words and offer our land acknowledgement.
Hi, everyone. I'm Heather Roscoe. Welcome to the webinar today. I'd like to first acknowledge that we're gathered on Treaty 1 territory and that Manitoba is located on the treaty territories of the ancestral lands of the Anishinaabe, Anishinaabe, Dakota, Oyate, Dene, Tsuut'ina, and Nehaniwak nations. Manitoba is the traditional homeland of the Red River Métis, and northern Manitoba includes lands that were and are the ancestral lands of the Inuit. As we gather, we commit to respecting and honoring the rights and contributions of Indigenous peoples. We also recognize our collective responsibility to uphold and strengthen the relationships between Indigenous and non-Indigenous peoples in a spirit of respect, remembrance, and reconciliation. I would also like to extend our sincere appreciation to the World Trade Center for this partnership. We're always happy to collaborate and look forward to this webinar and our future collaborations. So I'll pass it back to you, Milena.
Yes, thank you, Heather. And sorry, just once again, before we begin, I just want to share a couple of housekeeping items. So number one, please send all of your webinar questions, if you have any, in the chat box just at the top of your screen, and we will try to answer as many as we can during the session. And then we're also going to have a Q&A session at the end. And then for all logistical questions, send them directly in the chat box, and I will also try to answer as many as I can. Then lastly, you'll receive a PDF copy and recording of this presentation within the next week. So now it's time to start our webinar. I would like to introduce you to Yewande Alubowale and Tamir Maharaj. So Yewande is a trade advisor with WTC Winnipeg, and she is a seasoned banking professional with a comprehensive background in operations, customer service, trade finance, and project delivery. She holds an MBA, a certificate in management and administration, and her PMP certification. Tamir is also a trade advisor with WTC Winnipeg, and he brings practical experience of having worked on an international business startup as a part of an exchange program with the Amsterdam University of Applied Sciences International Business Program. He also holds a degree in economics from the University of Manitoba. So welcome, Yewande and Tamir. The floor is all yours.
Thank you, Milena, for that introduction. So I'll just go over the goals of the webinar today. So this webinar is going to help you succeed in your domestic and international trade show events, whether they're in person, virtual, or hybrid. And to do this, it's crucial to understand the different types of trade shows and how they can relate to your international trade readiness and positioning your own strategy. So in today's webinar, we're going to go over how to assess whether a trade show is a good idea, tips for pre-show and post-show strategies, how to maximize your trade show impact and tap into available funding and support. And we'll end with some templates and practical examples of how to capture leads during a trade show. So to start, we're going to start with a little poll just to see where everyone is in their trade show experience. And so we have a poll of, have you ever participated in a trade show, either as an exhibitor or an attendee? Okay, I think that's everyone. So it looks like we have a good amount of people who have attended and exhibited at trade shows before, and a few people that this is all new to them. So hopefully this webinar will be a good help for you and will get you started on your trade show journey. So we'll start with, why would you attend a trade show? So depending on your goals, there's a variety of different reasons to attend a trade show. Trade shows offer an excellent opportunity for networking, growth, and learning about new tools and trends in your industries. We'll start with networking opportunities. Trade shows serve as a hub for industry connections. They bring together professionals, experts, and decision makers from your industry. And by participating, you will have the opportunity to meet potential partners, clients, or mentors. These face-to-face interactions can lead to valuable relationships that you may not be able to obtain through other means. Next is market exposure if you're looking to launch a product. If you're looking to launch a new product or service, trade shows offer the perfect platform to showcase your new offerings to people that are already interested in your industry. It's an excellent opportunity to make a positive first impression and get immediate feedback from your target audience. Similarly is lead generation. So people often go to trade shows to find new products and services. This will allow you to connect with people who are already searching for products or services you may offer. It's an efficient way to fill your sales pipeline with potential customers. You can also gather competitor insights by attending trade shows. You get a unique chance to observe your competition in action. You can get valuable insights into their strategies and offerings and how they interact with their customers. So help you refine your own business strategy as well. Lastly is keeping up with trends. Trade shows offer an excellent opportunity to discover the latest products and ideas in your industry. This helps you stay ahead of the game and make smart decisions for your business. When evaluating the value of attending a trade show, ensure that you're clear on the reasons for your attendance. Costs may vary depending on why you're going. You may not need to exhibit and can simply send one staff member to participate in networking and gather competitor insights. If you're launching a new product, however, you may want to consider exhibiting and need to assess if that ROI is justified. So as you already know, a trade show is an exhibition where businesses in particular industry promote their products and services. There are different types of events. Sometimes they're referred to as trade fairs, trade exhibitions, or trade expositions. Just note that different industries, different countries may call them different things, but they all generally mean the same thing. A trade mission includes qualified targets, and often industry associations or government agencies will host these missions to different markets. Sometimes these events involve sponsorship and funding programs that'll help cover some of these costs. Trade shows can be virtual, hybrid, or in person. I'll now go over some key considerations you should make when selecting a trade show. So first is technology. When we think about the evolution of technology and communication, it's come a long way in the last 2 decades, especially after COVID-19 pandemic and the development's still continuing. You can leverage different data analytic tools and on different trade shows, particularly online platforms. There are numerous opportunities to leverage online tools, and World Trade Center Winnipeg market research can also help with creating contact lists and key contacts at the trade shows. This will be helpful when you're conducting your outreach before and after the show. Be aware of tools that you haven't been using. For example, consider upgrading any packages you might be offered at a trade show to get access to online networking platforms they may offer. Next is safety concerns. So these can involve different kinds of situations you may encounter when traveling for a trade show. So for example, it could be for health reasons such as the pandemic. It could be also safety concerns or geopolitical issues. These are key considerations that you have to make and take into account when planning for different trade shows. Also, depending on the trade show you go to, there will be a higher expectation on quality and engaging experiences. People attending trade shows have diverse interests, but it's essential to provide them with critical knowledge and high quality content that aligns with your strategy. In the same vein, you want to make sure that you invest in your staff. This is a very important consideration. Even if your staff has tons of experience attending trade shows, it's important to continually educate them and ourselves and understand different cultural dynamics at the trade show you may be attending. We also want to develop a strategy or game plan, as this will be crucial when professionally presenting ourselves at trade shows. In today's business environment, the circular business model is also a consideration you want to keep in your head. There is considerable pressure and growing regulatory environment that supports a more sustainable business model. So try to incorporate some of these into your trade show strategy as well. Consider the concept of corporate social responsibility and sustainability. A quick example is you could opt for less glossy materials or use less paper altogether and utilize more technology like an iPad or a TV. All these practices can have a significant impact on visitors and how they view your booth. It's essential to choose the right trade show as well that aligns with your objectives. Once you are ready, consider the tactical strategies guidelines for booth design and planning. The biggest challenge for small and medium-sized businesses is often limited resources. In this case, it's essential to be innovative. Consider sharing a booth with a partner or seeking sponsors from vendors or companies you work with. It's also important to know your target audience and follow market trends in your industry, especially when you are deciding what shows are most important for you, because you might only be able to pick a few during the year. So you want to make sure that you're picking the right ones. At World Trade Center Winnipeg, we can also help with creating a list of relevant trade shows. So make sure to reach out if you need help with this. Due diligence is key and is worth the time it takes to research. Make sure you navigate to the trade show's website, familiarize yourself with the time and place, and review last year's edition of the show as well, including any sponsors or keynote speakers. We can also help with analyzing the exhibitor list of last year to help evaluate if this is a trade show you want to be at. When you're just starting to choose a trade show you need to attend, you can walk the show before you exhibit. Some people prefer to walk the show so they can speak to customers and exhibitors at the show and get a better overview of what the general experience is like. You should always conduct your own research, and it's essential to examine the statistics of the events previously. This will help you determine the turnout and demographic you can expect so that you're setting realistic expectations for the show. It can also be helpful to look at where your competitors are exhibiting. Chances are, if they're at an event, it's something that you'll want to look into attending as well. I'll now hand it over to Yuandi to go over some pre-trade show strategy tips.
Thanks, Tamir. So I'll be talking about the pre-trade show strategy, what you do during the trade show and also afterwards. So before getting into the trade show itself, let's take a moment to talk about what we need to happen ahead of time. Trade shows, especially in clean tech space, requires thoughtful planning and solid execution. The audience is diverse and expectations are most times high. So it's important to be intentional from the start. So first thing first, set clear objectives. So what are you hoping to achieve when you're going into a trade show? It could be lead generation, building brand awareness, launching a new product, or connecting with suppliers. So whatever it is, your goal should guide your decisions. And it's not just about having those goals. Make sure that you have SMART goals. Let it be specific, measurable, achievable, relevant, and time-bound. So for example, if you have a goal to boost your brand awareness, you might want to run like a context or create a visual experience that's to draw people in. And if your goal is to draw people in, and also if you're thinking to maybe, it will help you to track it by aiming for maybe a set number of booth visits. But if your goal is to find new suppliers, your approach will be different. So it might be more focused on meetings, deeper conversations, and less emphasis on flashy visuals. So let's start planning early. As soon as you've committed to a trade show, you want to get the ball rolling. Early planning gives you time to deal with unexpected and build out more creative and well-thoughtful strategies for the trade show. So you want to reach out to key contacts ahead. You could book meetings and have, so that it helps you to clearly explain why it's worth their time to connect with you. Decide on the core messages you want to share and choose one product or services to spotlight. That kind of focus also helps, it helps your booth to stand out. So don't forget the pre-trade show marketing. You want to use your emails, social media like LinkedIn, and also have press releases to let people know that you will be there and what they should expect. Your booth setup also matters. So design something that is engaging and aligned with your brand. If you don't have the resources in-house, consider working with a service provider who knows the trade show scene. Logistics is also critical, so get familiar with the show's rules. And if you're heading abroad, make sure to have a clear understanding on customs, visa requirements, and any restrictions, especially if you are bringing controlled goods. So decide whether you want to ship your products ahead of time or you are traveling with them, and make sure to also bring documents to show that they are not for sale. Your material should be sharp. It should be culturally appropriate. So that means like your brochure should be with high quality visuals. Let it be clear to action. Let it be a clear call to actions. Let the banner have be eye-catchy, and also have your business cards with QR codes linked to the website or your LinkedIn page. Also, if you're offering samples, make sure that they are well packaged and reflect your brand. You also want to train your staff. Everyone should know the key message. They should be able to deliver a solid elevation pitch. Also understand how to network and follow up. Finally, I would say have a system in place to capture your leads, whether it's a simple form or a digital scan. Make sure it's easy to use and collects the right information. Train your team to qualify those leads during conversations so that you can prioritize how to follow up and make the most of the post-show momentum. So during the trade show, I'll be talking about the strategies that you want to consider during the trade show. So this is where, you know, everything that you have prepared for also starts to pay off. So during the trade show, the first thing is make sure you are there early. It gives time to get familiar with the venue. Also, it helps you to sort out any last minute setup issues. And even network, you know, it helps you to network those with the other exhibitors that are on the floor. So that early window is also golden. It's quiet, it's calm, and it's a great chance to build rapport. Next is ensure that your booth is well staffed. Have at least 2 members of the team at the booth so that you can manage interactions, and also it helps to engage with attendees properly. If you're attending a trade show in another province or another country where you're not fluent in the language, or you're not familiar with the culture, so you could consider hiring someone local, that's someone that understands the complexities and can help bridge that gap. So it makes, you know, a whole lot of difference on how your message is being perceived. Also, another critical thing is to plan for long hours. Make sure you wear comfortable clothing in layers, have supportive shoes. You could bring refillable water bottles. You might also need extra power source like rechargeable lamps or batteries, depending on your setup. And, you know, when it comes to engaging with the attendees, make it meaningful. Ask open-ended questions to understand their needs and see how your solutions might help. If your business offers services, consider doing live demos or even have a virtual reality experience. This helps to make it interactive so that people can participate, ask questions, and see your products in action. So that kind of proactive approach builds real connection and it leaves a lasting impression. Don't forget your elevation pitch. Have a well-crafted pitch. Helps you to avoid overloading people with information. Make sure it's concise, it's clear, and, you know, just be ready. Also, manage your time wisely. If someone stops by for a casual chat, especially let's say you're in your hometown market, it's okay to be friendly, but don't let it pull you away from potential buyers who have genuine interest. Try to strike a balance between appearing busy and being approachable. You want your booth to look active and engaging, but also open enough that people feel welcome to step in. Also, offer promotional giveaways like branded swags or eco-friendly items that align with your company's mission. I'll suggest to choose things that people can use and reuse again, so that, you know, it helps your brand to stay visible long after the show. Networking is huge. You want to connect with potential customers, partners, and industry influencers during the show. So don't just wait for people to come to you. Approach attendees that fit your target profile, engage them in conversations about their needs and how your offerings can provide value. Also take advantage of networking opportunities beyond your booth. So during breaks, seminars, and even at the evening events, always carry your business cards and be ready to make connections. And when you have meaningful conversations, make sure to collect their cards as well, or connect with them on LinkedIn. You also want to monitor your performance throughout the event. Track the booth traffic, the visitors' interactions you've had, and lead quality. So if something is not working, adjust your tactics in real time. Stay focused on your products and services and keep refining the approach. Finally, I would say keep your social media presence active, share live updates, stream demos, and post highlights from the event. It's a great way to extend your reach beyond the show floor, and it keeps the momentum going afterwards. Next is the trade show strategy, or after the trade show strategy. Now that the trade show has come to an end, you've done a great work. But as we know, the real value of trade show isn't just what happens on the floor, it's what we do afterwards. First thing is you want to debrief while it's still fresh. So within the next day or two, sit down as a team and talk about what went well, what didn't go well, and what surprised you. Be honest and let it be constructive. Check that, did your messages, did it land well? Did your booth attract the right people? Were there any hiccups you need to learn from? This is your chance to capture the insights while they are still fresh. Sort and also qualify your leads. You've got a stack of contacts, but now all leads are created equal. But not all leads are created equal. So sort them into hot leads, warm leads, and cold. So who is actually ready to do business? You want to identify those that need nurturing and also those that just, we're just browsing. So the goal here is to prioritize your follow-ups. So we have the next pool now. And the question is, when do you think is the best time to follow up after a trade show? Okay, thank you. For those that took time to answer, I'll say timely personal follow-ups is important. So you want to follow up and do it quickly. Within a few weeks, or within the week, I think that's the most ideal time. So within that week when it's still fresh, you want to do the follow-up. So you should be sending out personalized emails, reference the conversation, share relevant materials, and offer a next step. For high-value leads, book a call or a meeting. A timely follow-up shows that you are serious as well, and it keeps the momentum going. Also, you want to keep the online engagement going. Don't forget your social media, your LinkedIn. So you want to post highlights from the trade show, photos, the wins. You could do a shout out to the attendees, the organizers. You can also tag them, thank them, and keep the conversation alive. It's a great way to stay visible and show that you are active in the industry. Make sure everything goes into the CRM. You take notes, the contact information, and also the follow-up actions. This keeps the pipeline clean. It helps you to track progress. And if it's not logged, it means it didn't happen. So it's good to stay organized. Another important thing is you want to evaluate the return on investment. So did you hit your SMART goals? How many leads were generated? How many demos were you able to run? How much was spent and was it worth it? So this helps you to decide how to approach the next trade show, future trade shows. Nurturing relationship is also important. Even if someone is not ready to buy today, that doesn't mean they are not a future customer. stay connected on LinkedIn, share relevant content, and keep the relationship warm. Trade shows are just the beginning. Document and share your learnings. Finally, you want to document what you have learned as a team, maybe a short internal report or a slide deck that shows the photos, metrics, and feedbacks. That will help you and your team when you're planning future trade shows. Another topic I'd like to talk about is also how to maximize your trade show impact. How can we really maximize impact at a trade show? Because, showing up is just the beginning. How we show up and what we do while we are there makes all the difference. First off, you want to be engaged. I know trade shows can be long days, but energy and presence goes a long way. Whether you're at the booth, whether you're walking the floor or grabbing a coffee, be approachable, be curious, be ready to chat. People remember genuine conversations more than flashy booth displays. So let's try not just to stand behind the table. Let's lean in, ask questions, and make connections. Now, one of the best ways to make these connections count is booking B2B sessions ahead of time. These are golden opportunities to sit down with potential partners, buyers, or collaborators in a more focused setting. If the show offers a matchmaking platform or scheduled meetings, take full advantage of it. And if not, you want to reach out directly, send a quick message, introduce yourself, and suggest a time to meet. Another key move is identifying buyers and distributors in attendance. Don't wait for them to find you. Do your homework. Check the attendees list. If it's available, ask around and keep an eye out for name, badges, and company logos. So when you spot someone who fits your target profile, start a conversation, ask about their needs, their challenges, and how your solutions might help. Don't limit yourself to the trade show floor. Some of the best networking happens outside the official hours, maybe at receptions, dinners, seminars, or even casual meetups. These events are often more relaxed and people are more open to chatting. So attend those sessions, mingle, be ready to talk about your work in a way that is natural and engaging. You want to also partner with other companies. So we'll be shifting a bit out of, the regular trade show. I would like to talk about, something big that makes the difference and how Manitoba companies could show up at trade shows. You want to partner and, cluster collaboration. When we talk about exporting or expanding into new markets, we often think about what our individual businesses can do. But sometimes the biggest wins come from working together, showing up as a team and representing a strong Manitoba brand on the international stage. So this kind of collaborative branding sends a powerful message to buyers and investors that Manitoba businesses are innovative, they're export ready and a part of a thriving ecosystem. It's not just about one company, it's about a region with a reputation that helps boost your business reputation. So we've seen this model succeed at national and international events. For example, we have the Manitoba pavilions at Seattle, Toronto. When businesses in Manitoba joined forces under a shared brand, this often attracts more traffic, generates stronger media interest, and it creates a more lasting impression. Some of the benefits of exhibiting together, it's beyond visibility. There's some other practical benefits too. First, I would say is shared costs. Booth space, designs, furnishing, and logistics, they can add up quickly, especially for smaller organizations. By sharing a booth or a pavilion, companies can cut costs or cut expenses while still maintaining strong individual branding. Second is shared exposure. Each participating company brings its own network, and that multiplies reach. If a media outlet interviews one Manitoba exhibitor, chances are that the others in the cluster gets mentioned too. Also, the third one will be shared leads. Often a buyer who visits a company's booth might be looking for something that another Manitoba firm offers. When you're collaborating, you can cross-refer leads to increase the return on investment on the trade show. I'd also talk about co-marketing. So it doesn't have to be complicated. It can be as simple as having a joint flyer, a shared digital landing page, or even social media collaboration. For example, if 4 cleantech firms are attending, say, a trade show outside the province, you can create a page with all your profiles, have a shared QR code that links to everyone's contact details. You can also run a small contest or draw together to attract visitors to your joint space. Before the trade show, coordinate posts on LinkedIn and tag each other. That multiplies the reach organically. So during the event, rotate staff so that each person can take breaks while the booth remains lively and well covered. The next time you plan to attend a trade show, one question to ask yourself is, you want to know who are those from your sector or your region that is going? Maybe you can share a booth, co-host a reception, or collaborate on a shared campaign. Next that I'd like to talk about is funding. I know that's critical for attending trade shows and even for the growth of the business. There are a few key programs and tools that are available to Manitoba businesses. First off is, if you're just starting to explore funding options, I would always recommend checking out Fundica. It's a fantastic AI tool available on our website at the World Trade Center, Winnipeg here. It helps to match your business profile with relevant grants, loans, tax credits, and investor programs across Canada. It's free for all to use and it saves you hours of research. Next, if you're looking into expanding internationally, the Can Export program is a game changer. It helps businesses cover costs related to entering new markets, things like travel, trade show attendance, translation services, and market research. So if you're planning to attend a trade show outside Canada, explore export opportunities, this program can help offset these expenses. And it's offered by Global Affairs, that's Trade Commissioner Service. And once you're ready to take the leap into global markets as well, Export Development Canada steps in. They have financial solutions like credit, insurance, working capital support, and export financing. They also offer advisory services to help you navigate international deals with confidence. Also, don't forget programs like National Research Council of Canada, the HIRAC program, that helps cleantech programs with research and development. They have cleantech programs with research and development support. There's also the Paris Can, which offers targeted funding to support cleantech technology innovations and commercializations across the Perry province. So funding is one piece, but support also goes beyond the dollars. There are accelerator incubators, mentorship programs across the country that can help with business planning, market access, and investor readiness. So groups like Northforge, Foresight Canada, Innovate Manitoba, they offer tailored service support for businesses just like yours. And of course, here at the World Trade Center, Winnipeg, we offer a full suite of services to help you prepare for international trade. So whether you need help with market intelligence, training, or one-on-one advisory support, we are here to work along with you. So now I'll pass it over to Tamia again. He will share some tips on how to capture leads.
So at a trade show, you can have the best booth, have great conversations, and the perfect materials. But if those contacts don't make it into a usable system, that opportunity is lost. So in this section, I'm going to go over some different ways that you can capture leads effectively during the show. There is not going to be a fits all solution, and this is going to depend on your team size, budget, and the event format. But we'll go over 3 to 4 common options that you can use. So the first is a trade show app or a badge scanner. So most big trade shows will offer an app that you can use to scan people's badges throughout the trade show. This will save their contact info for you, and you can access that after the show's over. You're going to want to confirm if your exhibitor package or your attendee package includes a service like this, or if there's an upgrade you can use to get this service or access the online networking platform. The first digital option, which is simple and easy, is a digital lead form. So this is going to be a custom form on a tablet or a phone. It could be something simple like a Google form. This will help capture details instantly, and it'll sync automatically to a spreadsheet. You can also link this to a QR code that people can use to scan at your booth and fill it out themselves. If you're going to use a custom form like this or a QR code, you want to make sure that there's internet connection or Wi-Fi at your event. Make sure you check before you go that people will have access to internet, as you will need internet access to utilize a QR code or a digital form. There's also a manual capture sheet. So if you're using an Excel sheet or paper forms, these will both be reliable when you don't have Wi-Fi. You can use these, make sure they're short and structured to make the data entry easier at the end, and follow-up stays organized if you keep it short. We have an example of what a paper form would look like. Well, we have a package of templates that we'll share after as well that you can use, and you could print this out and customize it how you need. So the template is kept to 1 page, which I recommend you keep 1 page when using paper forms. This will help keep it organized and make sure that you're not losing sheets or leads throughout the show. On that same idea is to, at the end of the day, make sure that you take photos or scan paper forms or info sheets that people are giving you. This will make sure, again, that nothing gets lost and that you have backups of all the leads that you're getting. In the template package, we also have 2 simple Excel sheets that you can use throughout the trade show to capture leads. So you can have this open on a phone or tablet, and as you go through the trade show, the master list, the blue chart in the package, is a place where you can enter all your leads. It has all the necessary information that you'll need, and you can customize it to fit your own use case. You can also mix paper forms with Excel, using the paper forms throughout the day, and then at the end, backing it up to this Excel sheet. The Excel sheet also has a follow-up section that's linked to the master leads, and this will help you organize leads after the trade show and track whether you're doing follow-up and how that's being assigned to different people on your team. The last and most efficient way that I think is the custom forms. So there's also a page on the template form or template package, which has instructions on how to set up a Google form or a Microsoft form. That'll automatically link to a spreadsheet, and that guests can fill out on their own, or your staff can use to quickly fill out. Again, this is going to need internet access, so make sure that you check with your venue if there is internet access or data. This one has the most setup, but is definitely the quickest throughout the show. If you want help setting up any of this, you can reach out to World Trade Center. We can also help you get started with this. Nice thing about this is that, again, you can display a QR code. And so if it's a busy show and you don't have time to talk to all the visitors, they can quickly scan the QR code, fill out the contact sheet, and you still won't lose that lead. Some general tips that work for all 3 of these methods is to assign 1 person on your team to manage this data entry and control the quality. Consistency with these matters, and this will help make sure that you have clean and organized leads to follow up with, and this will save you lots of time after the trade show. You want to make sure that you use short forms Never ask more than 7 questions on your forms. This will keep capture simple and keep it quick for both your staff and your visitors. Throughout the show, this is important to tag leads by interest. So you want to segment your follow-up so that you can properly prioritize after the show. It's not as important to label cold leads, but any hot leads you want to make sure are clearly marked so they don't get lost in the shuffle. And sync your notes daily. Even if you make a bunch of contacts, a few lost contacts can cost big opportunities. So if you're working with paper and some working with the digital form, make sure at the end of the day you sync this. Either take pictures of the screenshots of the Excel sheet and pictures of the forms. You don't want to put in all this work only to lose these leads. So sync your paper and Excel sheets and keep them all in one place. Attending a trade show for the first time can be a significant opportunity for your business. At the end of the day, trade shows are about showing up with purpose, connecting with people, and making sure your brand leaves a lasting impression. So be intentional, stay friendly, and make sure every moment counts during and after the show. Consistent follow-up is the secret to turning trade show conversations into lasting business relationships. We now have some time for any questions. You can put them in the chat and we can answer those that way, or you can unmute and ask.
Okay, we do have one question. So Melanie's asking, does the WTC organize its own trade show for organizations in Manitoba?
So World Trade Center Winnipeg doesn't host our own trade shows. We do have our WTC Talks events each month, and that'll have networking, and we highlight different entrepreneurs from Manitoba each month. For an international trade show, the World Trade Center Association hosts a global business forum each year. And so this is hosted by different World Trade Centers, and each World Trade Center that attends brings B2B connections from their home city. So this is a good way if you want to reach a large global audience, reach out and we can explore how you can get involved with that event.
Okay, perfect, thank you. I have a question myself. So how early do you think like companies should start planning, let's say, to ensure that their like presence will be successful there?
Yeah, so I would say as soon as possible, it's best to start planning. Depending on the size and the cost of the trade show, it may even be best to start a year out. But I would say give yourself a few months for sure to conduct that pre-show research and book some B2B meetings beforehand.
Okay, thank you.
I would also like to add to, the previous question. So there are some times in the province or even outside the province, just like CL and, some other trade shows, we always, as World Trade Center, we reach out to organizations within the province to let them know about those programs so that, they can express their interest. So for those, we normally have like that Manitoba pavilion that goes together, have a shared booth and all. So that happens sometimes with some events. So that's why it's always good for us to have your contact information and also understand the kind of business that you do so that when those opportunities come up, we can share that with you.
Yeah, I've also shared our upcoming events and webinars in the chat. So we have on November 19th, our WTC Talks event. So this is going to be at Torque Brewing, featuring Ash Moda of Mondetta. On November 25th, we have Tariff Challenges, Understanding the Ever-Changing Landscape, presented by Rhonda Galbraith and Samantha Christ with GHY International. And then on December 9th, we have Unlock Your Workplace Rights, Manitoba Employment Standards Essentials. This is going to be presented by Employment Standards Officer and Manitoba Employment Standards Office. So thank you to everyone who joined this webinar. Hopefully you found this helpful and see you again soon.